Hello everyone, welcome back to part number 3. Um, this is where we left off last time. We had our collection view with a whole bunch of movies being fetched. That's a continuous scroll. As we keep scrolling, we'll have more and more movies being fetched. So this is our view controller. This is our fetch method, calling the API method here, updating bunch of local variables, and then load more data. That's the method we created to load more data. We increment our page number and then we add it to the operation queue. And then down here in this method of collection view will display cell, we are calling this if the cell that's being displayed is the last item in the current index of movies array, which is right here. If that's the case, we're going to go ahead and fetch more data, and it will append the new data at the end of the array, and it will show the results as we can see right here. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to create a first let me show you. So this is the API. So they have, if you look here, we have, if you go to movies, if you hover over movies, you have popular movies, which we have right here. These are the popular movies. If we go to the API method, right here, you see we're passing in the parameters called popular. So that's what we're getting. And then they also have top rated movies. So these are the top, some of the top rated movies they have. And then they have upcoming, which are, new movies that we are waiting for. These are about to release in February, January 31st, so on and so forth. And now playing are some of the movies that are in theater right now. They're in the cinema houses right now, right? So they're playing right now. So let's create a another view controller, and we're going to call it top rated, right? So we're going to fetch all the top rated movies. The easier way to do is that we're going to go here to viewController folder, right click on that new file, and it's going to be a Cocoa Touch class. It's going to be a top rated VC, and we want this to be a let's make it UI view controller, and the file language should be Swift, and this box should not be checked, so this should be unchecked. The zip, we don't want to create a zip file as of right now, and then go ahead and create that. So we have a bare bone empty view controller file. So get rid of some of the unwanted stuff. So it's just the housekeeping that we do. Now we'll go to our storyboard, main.storyboard. So this is our popular movie view controller right here. So in here, we're going to go add view controller. So this is our view controller. We're going to add this here. And then while we're here, we're going to add a collection view right here. Not the controller, just the view. So this is just the collection view. And we're going to constrain this 0, 0, 0. And we're going to apply the constraint. So it's hugging all the sides. And then what we can do is we can copy some of the information from here. So if you go to the collection view here and click on this ruler thing right here, so show size inspector. If I click here, I can see some of the information. So our cell size is set to 100 by 100. Top left is set to 5 points, and the right is set to 5 points, and everything else is 0, and then minimum spacing is 5 and 5 as well for the lines. So let's do that. So I'm going to go here. Our cell size should be 100 by 100. And this automatic estimated will be none. So we don't want that to play any role in this. From 10 points to 5 points here, and then 5 left and 5 right here. Now, we're going to click on the cell, which is right here, this little box. I'm going to add an image view, right? So we're going to go image view, drag in here, shrink it to fit in the box, and then click on the image view. Go to right here to add new constraint, and we'll say 0, 0, 0 on all sides. And then I don't know, for some reason it shrinks it down to this, so there, I don't know why Xcode is doing. So click on this little I-beams, and then come here, the first one where it says constant, enter 0 and tab over, and it's gonna hug all the way up. So click on each I-beam, go 0 here, and then 0 on this one. You can also do is, if you don't see that I-beam, so you click on the image, go to I-beam and double tap on it, and it will pop up this little window here, so you can just enter 0 like that. So now it's hugging all 4 corners of that. So that's our image view. Now click on the viewController box right here and go to this box right in the middle where it says show the identity inspector. If you click on that, custom class section right here on the top where it says class, use this drop down menu and look for top rated VC that we just created. So we should, right here, so it's right here, top rated VC viewController. And then we come back here to top rated VC. We're going to create an extension, top rated controller. Our extension is going to be UI collection view data source. Okay. Go back to our storyboard. Control and drag from here to this entry point and select data source. Okay. Go back to the viewController, top rated viewController. You're going to have this pop-up warning here saying that you are actually conforming to this delegate method or data source method, but you're not entering the required method that you're supposed to have. So this is kind of a protocol, and this protocol carries some of the method that we must implement. So if I go here and click fix, it's going to enter the stubs for those methods that are actually required to implement. So as right now we can return 0. This is a nice way of Xcode giving us the heads up that hey, you must implement these methods from this protocol if you want to use it. So collection view dot dequeue cell for identifier. I'm going to say top rated, and then index path, and then return cell. So this way we don't have any warnings for this. Now, basically we can pretty much copy most of the stuff from here because it's kind of a duplicate, but that's separate viewController, so it needs its own separate variables. So we're going to need collection view, we're going to need movies, page, and total pages. So I'm going to just copy these, okay? Command C, go back here, and then copy and paste. So if I go to my storyboard and now right click on this VC, so you can see I have collection view. So I need to drag from here and drop it on my collection view. So that relationship is established. So this is now talking to my new collection view. What else we need from this view controller? Okay, so we need the fetch method. We are also going to need this, and we're going to need load more movies. So I'm going to copy, and right underneath my view did load, I'm going to paste these two methods. Right now, if we return now, if we say movies dot count, if it's not nil, otherwise return 0. So if this is an optional, if you can see this question mark, which means this is an optional. So what I'm saying here is movie.count, unwrap it, and return me the counts of these movies. Just in case if this is empty, so instead of just having my application to crash, just return 0. So this way my application is not going to crash. Okay, so now what we need is we have our cell file right here, right? This is our movie cell. So this is just a generic movie object we're passing in. So we can use exactly the same collection view cell file to our new storyboard. So if I go here, you see this where it says collection view cell? Click that and then come to this custom class drop down menu and select movie collection view cell. Now I go back to my method here, and I'm going to say this cell is force unwrap as movie collection view cell, and then cell dot movie is equal to movies question mark index path dot item. So that's basically all we need. So in a perfect world, if I'm looking, to me it looks everything the way it should work. And if I run the app, see what happens. You know, if we didn't make any mistake, we should be able to see. Oh yeah, we did actually make a mistake. So let me stop this. So we're compiling, so we didn't get any error. So we know everything is good. So if I go back to the main storyboard, now, how do we know that we're going to add this into our tab view controller, right? So we have a tab view controller, currently only has one item. So we want this to be part of our tab view, right? So first I want this to be embedded in a navigation controller. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. That's too big. That's too small. Just about there, right here. So I want this tab view controller to also have this new view controller. So control, drag from the tab view. So I'm holding the control key, I'm dragging to this navigation entry point. And let go. Relationship. What relationship am I trying to create here? So from tab view to this view controller, I'm creating a view controllers relationship. So the tab view, this bar under here, basically this populates into an array of view controllers. So this is on this. So and currently there are two view controllers in the array. So this is 1 and 2. So this is index 0, this is index 1. That's another way to look at it. So if I go to my view controller, now I can actually change the name. If I go to the inspector, I can type here top rated, and you can see it's reflected right here, top rated. So if I run it now I have access to this top rated view controller, right? So in the perfect world, if I click this, I should see exactly the same result, because currently we're just passing in the same results. And I don't see anything. And there's a reason why. So if I go back here, because we are dequeuing a cell right here, and we did not enter the identifier. You see this? So we have to say top rated, right? I think that's what we called it. If I go to viewController, oh, top rated. So we're gonna go here and go to our cell. So it's top rated. So we dequeue the top rated cell. Let's see what happens. So at this point, we should have something. No, still don't have it. And I know why we don't have it. So perfect reason for that. Because we have this image view, right? And we did not hook this up to anything. So if I go to top rated and right click, you see this image or movie image, drag to my image view. Now I have established a relationship. So when the cell right here, I'll show you in the file, when this is being set, it needs to know where this relationship is. So it will appear on the screen like this. So now we established a relationship, and we still can't, oh yeah, we still don't see anything, right? So this is good. We're debugging it, and I know why it's going on. I know 100% why is this happening, but I'm just being naive. I'm just playing, let's say I'm playing stupid, so I just want to go along and see where my problem is. So now we reached here. We know that our app is working. We're not getting any crashes. It's not giving me any error messages. It's just not showing me the cell that I'm expecting to see, right? And remember I said earlier, if this movie count is 0 or null or nil, because it's an optional. So if this is nil, after this nil coalescing operators, there's 2 question marks checking to see if this is nil. If this is nil, then return 0 sections, 0 row or 0 items in this section. So basically what we're seeing here, let me run this one more time so I can explain this to you. I don't know if you already saw the problem, but it's very obvious. If you look at it very closely in this viewController, then you will see where the problem is. So our problem is somewhere in here, right? But let's see. So when I tap on this, this thing is being called, this function is being called, right? Once this function is called, it needs to return something, right? So it's saying, okay, this is nil. I didn't find anything in there. So I'm just going to return 0. I'm not going to return anything. And that's why we don't see anything here. It's 0. Because this item here is nil. And you would ask, why is this nil? We already have the API function here. We're calling the API. We're passing in to data to our variable. We're updating the variable. This should not be nil. Well, the reason for this is nil because we're not calling this method anywhere. We created the method, but we're not calling it. So when the app runs the first time, this method is being called once and only once. As you load the viewController, this will be called only one time, not again, until you restart your app. This will be called only once. So this is empty, right? There's nothing going on in this method. We're not doing any, thing when the method is called. So what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to call fetch, right? We want to call this fetch method, and then it's going to call this API method, update our local variables, and do the collection view reload. And then when this reload happens, it's going to fire up this method again. It's going to see this one being loaded with movie data, instead of returning 0, is going to return the value of this count, whatever that may be, 1, 10, 15, 20, or 100. All right, so let's do it again. Now we are calling our fetch method. That's very important. Now at this point, if we made a mistake somewhere in here, right, in this section, we should get an error. If this is perfectly fine, there are no mistakes made here, then we should see exactly the same view controller that we're looking at right now. So this is popular. Let's go to top rated. Voila. So if you see here, we have the same movies as we have here. But wait a minute. Why do we have these so small, and why there's so much gap in between? Well, there's a reason, because if we go back to popular movie VC, what we're doing here is we're telling it to be 3 columns width, with subtracting the space amount that we have on the right, left, and in between, and then give us the width, and then we say my width is divided by 3 column. That's the width I want, and then this is the height I want for my movie item, right? So if I take this and paste right on top of my fetch method in viewDidLoad, right, and then run it again, then I should have the result that I'm expecting. So, right, I'm gonna click here, no difference. Can you spot a difference? You can't, because you don't even know if it's changing, right? Here's the difference. So we're in top rated. So top rated is only 20 movies. See, we're not updating, we're not using continuous scroll in this view controller as of yet, right? Here we have continuous scroll, so it keeps scrolling. It's loading more movies. This one is not loading because we're not calling load more data anywhere. So if I go back here, simply copy and paste this last method. I know this is bad programming, copy and pasting, but unfortunately it's exactly the same from the previous view controller. So, you know, in this case, we're just going to copy and paste because there's no difference in both view controllers. So if I go now, why we're not loading the data? Huh, interesting. See, it's not loading more data. And why that would be? Well, because this method is part of the delegate method. So what I have to do is I have to conform to UI collection view delegate, and then go to storyboard and tell my collection view that, hey, you're now also control, hold down the control key, hover your mouse on this, drag to this entry point, and let go. See this delegate? You see there is a dot next to the data source because we conformed to that already. So now we're going to conform to a delegate. So if I go back again, now I have a dot here. So now I'm the delegate. Now that method that we just copied, which is this method, let me show it to you right here. This method will be called as I scroll. All right, ready? Oh wow, look at that. Continue scrolling. See, it's loading more and more movies, because now I'm conforming to the delegate method, which is this one here, and it says, yeah, I know you conforming to me. I will fire this method up when you're ready. So there we go. It's loading more movies. So this is our second view controller. These are popular movies. These are top-rated movies, right? But unfortunately, these are not top-rated movies. It's the same as this one. See, no difference. No matter which one I click, you don't see any change. How do we fix this? So currently, if we go to our API, which is right here, currently we have this one function in the API class, which we are hard-coded with the popular parameter. Wouldn't it be nice that this method right here takes a parameter like this is taking an integer as we are updating our value? See, it's taking the page number, which is an int, to update. That's where this is reflected. So this page is being updated here, right? We're passing this. So wouldn't it be nice if we pass this parameter as well? No matter which view controller we are in, we just use the parameter in that view controller to reflect that particular view controller, so we don't repeat ourselves with 6 or 7 different methods, which, you know, technically doing exactly the same thing. So how do we do this? So let's refactor our function here. So go to the API class and go to this function. It should be only one function, fetch popular movies, right? So we're gonna call it fetch movies. Okay, number one, I'm gonna call it fetch movies, because we can't just say popular movies, then, you know, this is now generic for all different movies. And we're gonna say what we should say, movies is a string. What kind of movies, right? So it could be popular movies, it could be top rated, now playing, different type of movies, right? So that's movies string, and this is page on success. So now we have to go back to our view controller here. This one we can delete, make it just fetch movies, and remove the popular fetch movies. So in the first call, we have to, it says missing argument parameter page in call. So if I click on this, it's going to add page integer, so page should be here. This one we have to enter popular, right? Because this is a popular movie. So this is the string we're going to pass, that hey, always fetch popular movies because you're inside a popular view controller, right? And page is page. So it's all green. This should be good. Now go back to top rated and get rid of this word. It says popular, and from here as well, we're going to say this one is a string top underscore rated. Remember, it's very important. You have to type top underscore rated. That's how the API is going to take the parameter top rated. If it's 2 word, it should be separated by an underscore. You can't just put a space there, okay? And it will not work if you put the space. So that's the variable we're passing in, is the page. I'm going to say colon page, so that's done. And I'm going to say top underscore rated, comma. This is my parameter for top rated. If I run this now, and I didn't make any mistakes so far, but it will not work the way we want it to work. So popular is good. If I go to top rated, I still see popular. Why is that? Why they're still reflecting the same data? Well, go back to the API. Because now we're passing the movies string, we have to interpolate that, right? So we're just gonna pass in movies right here. So whatever that string is, we're gonna pass this in here. So we're gonna go / open parentheses, close parentheses, and then in between open and close parentheses, we're gonna pass in the parameter, which is right here, right? So again, let me go back and show you what I did. You see, you're gonna see popular here, right? So double click on popular and delete it, right? Then put / open paren, type in movies, and then close paren. So now we have a string interpolation of these. So we have base URL, which is here, we got movies, which is here, then we have keys, then API key, and page is page, which is this one. So if I run it again, based on my view controller, now I should see popular movies. There is no change here, as you can see, same thing, but watch this. See, now this one is the popular movies. These are the top rated movies. See, there is no difference. And continuous scroll works exactly the same because it's still getting the movie data, right? So these are the top rated movies. So if you go to the API's website, which is right here, and if I go to movies and click on top rated, look at this. top rated movies. That's the Indian movie right here. Shawshank Redemption, Godfather, Parasite, Schindler's List, right? So keep going. And if I go to my application and go to top rated movies, so we have the same kind of movies here, right? So this, Parasite, Schindler's List, right? So that's the idea. So we have our top rated view controller. We're still using one function. We're not repeating or duplicating our code for multiple fetch requests. We're using the same one function. We're passing the parameters that we want to fetch from different view controllers and reflecting our data according to that. So that's it for this video. So we have our top rated movies that are working exactly the same as the popular movies right here. One more thing I want to do is, you see we don't have the tab bar, the navigation bar title. So when we are in popular, we should say popular movies. When you're in top rated, we should equals what we're in popular, right? So that's popular right here. So now we should be able to see, so the view controller has a property self.title. So there you go, popular. And if you go to top rated, and we do the same thing with the top rated, title equal top rated, and run it again. Now we have popular and we have top rated, right? So we got top rated movies. So that's it for this video. Here's what we're gonna do in the next video. Let me show you the preview of what's coming in the next video. So what we're going to do is, right now we have two view controllers, top rated and popular movies, right? It's pretty easy. You can add more view controllers, just copy and paste some of the stuff from the previous one. So if I click anything right here, see, it's not doing anything, it's not clicking. But this is what we're going to do in the next video. In the next video, so this is the finished application. I still have just two view controllers, but so right now if I click on this, nothing happens. But if I click on this one, watch what happens. See what happens? So it's a detail view controller. Now if you keep your eyes right here on this circle where it says 60%, that's a little animation, and that's using Swift UI. So if I go to Joker, you see how this moves and animated to 83%, and this animated to 60%. The color is yellow here on the Joker, 83% is green. So if you're 60 or above percent, you should be green. If you're less than 60%, it's yellow. It's just saying that how the popularity is. Anyways, so let's go back here. So we have Joker here, right? So we have another image of movie right here. We have the backdrop, which is right here. So it's stretchy header. So see, we can stretch this as we pull down. We have a scroll view of actors, the cast of the movie. This is the plot of the movie, the release date. So this is coming in the next video. This is called the detail page. So we're going to make a detail page that will look like this. We're going to stretch this, let it go. Now, down here, you see we have a bunch of more movies as we're scrolling. It's like a horizontal scroll. See that? So this is based on recommendation. So the API recommends that you might like. So if I go to the API page and I say, you know, popular movies, if I go to Joker, so these are the actor. As you can see, move this one out of the way. So as you can see, on the detail page, we have actors like this, right? Then if I scroll up, this is giving me recommendation that if I like Joker, then I might also, you know, interest based on Joker, they're recommending me these movies. Say, hey, go take a look at these as well. You might be interested in something like this. If you like Joker, you might like these as well. So that's what I have here. You know, we have here, take the recommendations. They don't recommend, they're not showing more than 5-10 movies. So I'm just showing all the movies they're recommending, right? Currently. So, and these are the actors. So if I go to any other movie, it says Star Wars. So that's the backdrop, stretchy header. Now this circular idea with the percentage, I got it from here. See this? That's the idea, I got it from their website. So if I go to Star Wars, where is Star Wars? Right here, only 65%. So see, mine is the same, 65%, 65%, and it animates. So if you keep your eyes on this right here, this circle, keep your eye on this. As I click on this, watch, see, it's animating. And keep an eye on this one. They're actually going a little slow. Mine is going pretty fast, so it comes in and stops at 65%. So that's the idea. The backdrop of the movie, little image here. They have the image. The other one is the backdrop. See, they have a backdrop, faded image. That's what's going on in the back of this viewController as well. As you can see, if I move this, see in the back here, that's an image in the back. And then we have recommended movies. Then we have actors who were part of this movie. So I can click on a profile. So let's go back and go to Irishman. Where is Irishman? I saw it here. Irishman. Or let's say Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right? Where is that? Right here. So if I go back here, popular movies, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So my data and their data is exactly the same. 75%, user rating, 75%, cast of the movie, recommended movies as well, right? So if I click on the cast, so let's click on Brad Pitt. So this is Brad Pitt's profile page. It shows that, you know, where he was born, what's his date of birth, a little bit of Wikipedia information about Brad Pitt, and then at this very bottom, all the movies that Brad Pitt appeared in, right? So this is all coming, you know, wait for this. This is a very detailed movie application that we're going to go into more detail. So these are all Brad Pitt's movie that he actually worked in so far. And this is pretty much Wikipedia information that we have for Brad Pitt, right? So if I go back here again, click on DiCaprio, that's, you know, he was born in 1974, Los Angeles, California, and these are some of the movies that he worked in. That's his profile, and so on and so forth. So that's basically, you know, what our detail page is going to look like. That will be our next video. Now this is going to be a little bit more detail, a lot of work, but we'll do it together. So once again, thank you for your time.